So you're taking excellent steps on how to approach this stuff. You're saying what the count is to start. Repeat one bar at a time just to get used to the chord progressions. And just piece it together little bit by bit, just how you've been doing it. So, and just with how you were approaching exercise 3, how you just played it without a metronome, really, really slow, getting all the strums in the right place and all that stuff. Fantastic. Keep doing that anytime you need to. So I'm just going to demonstrate these 3 at 60, 120, and 160. And yeah, so count along with it until you like you said, you were running out of breath at like the 160. So maybe like count from 60 out loud up to the 120, and then after that, don't worry about counting out loud anymore. And then as you progress into speeds, so let's, I don't remember if I mentioned this last time, but basically, like let's say you have another instance where like after the second day, you've already gotten everything up to speed. So instead of going up by 5 beat per minute increments every single time you play this stuff, after you've reached that point, maybe, day 3, the day after you've gotten everything up to speed, being hypothetical here, start at 60 again, and then maybe go to 80, and then 100, and maybe do like 110, 120, and then maybe go up by 5s at that point. But like a bare minimum thing to do would just be going up by 20s, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. At least hit those speeds each day you practice, just to keep these things fresh. So this way, when we go on to new stuff, it'll be a lot easier. But anytime you feel the need to just start going up by 5s again, do that. But here we go. 60 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 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 done. So, just remember something. After you've started your repeat, let this chord ring out across beat 1 here. So basically, ignore the 8th note rest on the repeat. If this is just to save time and writing space on the page, because if I wrote it out exactly how it's supposed to be, so it sounds exactly right, basically both these lines would need to be written out twice all the way through, so that this chord would be tied over into the next bar. So we're cheating here on the writing process just to simplify it. It looks a lot nicer just having it on 2 lines instead of 4. Alright, 120 is next. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and the 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 4, 1, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and 1. 2 and 4, 1 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. On to number 3. Same rhythm as number 2, just a heck of a lot more chords. I better review that real quick. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 4, 1, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 4, 1, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, This one will be much easier once you get the progression memorized, so you can just look at your hand instead of doing what I'm doing, looking back at the screen, back at the guitar, and so on. All right, 160, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I goofed it. Take 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's more like it. So yeah, getting the progression memorized is going to be very helpful instead of doing what I just did and just trying to look at it and go. All right, I think that covers everything. Yeah, just was one other thing. So the quick way to tell about the chord being inverted, just look at the chord name. So quick theory. I don't remember if we talked much about theory or what you do know, if anything. But basically, the 5th chord, or the power chord. So you have the root note and then this 5. So it's telling you that you're playing the 5th interval of an E. What that means, if you start on an E note and then you play through an E major scale and you go up by 5, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That note's B. So it's telling you you're playing an E and a B note at the same time. So we have 3 strings being used, but that high note there is another E. So it's still just 2 notes. You just have E being repeated at the higher octave. So that's what's happening there. That's what a 5th chord is. The root note, 5 notes higher in the major scale of whatever the root note is. So basically like the F5 chord, if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the F major scale, that gives you the 5th interval there, and so on. So with the inverted 5th chord, so yeah, you got, so the first one here is a B5 chord. So if we start here on the B, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that lands on F sharp. But we're taking that octave, actually not that octave, we're taking this, the F sharp here, we're taking the 5th interval, and we're duplicating that in a lower octave down here. So yeah, you can have any note to the right of this forward slash. It could be any note whatsoever. So you could have a B5 slash G, you could have a B5 slash F. I would actually name these chords a little bit different, and I'll re-explain why later on, because we're really getting in depth with theory there. But just for simplification purposes, like you can call this a B5 and then add a G sharp down there. You can they're in an A note instead, B5/A. So yeah, any of those notes, I mean, you can do any of them there. So that's basically what's going on with this chord name here. It's telling you the interval structure, so what the root note is, which is B. It's telling you have the fifth interval being played, or think of it as, the 5 notes higher in scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you also have the F sharp, the base of the chord. Boom, add that guy in there. So hope that makes sense. If you have any questions with this stuff, let me know, and I'll see you again Thursday.